And that also, I think, makes it what I think the perfect device if you want to reduce your screen time, where you want to reduce your social media or media addiction. Hey guys, it's me, Ole, and today I don't have a BlackBerry with me, but this very interesting phone, a Motorola Razr 60 Ultra flip phone. So if you're a regular viewer of this channel, you may know that this channel focuses on niche devices, mostly on BlackBerry phones. But I had to try the Motorola Razr 60 Ultra because everybody in the comment section below was suggesting me trying it, and that's because there's a Clicks case which adds keyboard functionality to your Razr, and it keeps the form factor quite small when closed, and it's similar to something like a BlackBerry Classic. But I'll do a completely separate video on the Razr and the Clicks case, so stay tuned for that. So actually, I'm an Apple user, and I use MacBooks and I use iPhones, Apple TVs, and so on. So that's why I have the Clicks case actually installed on my 16 Pro Max. But for the last week, I've been using the Motorola Razr as my main phone. I've had it for 2 weeks now, so I think I can share my opinion on it. But this video should not be about all of the technical details about the phone. For me, the most interesting thing is if this phone is usable in everyday life. And I think for you, that's the same case. So I won't go too deep into the technical side of things and more on the usable things. But let's get into those things first so we have them out of the way. The phone, of course, has 2 displays, and I have to say the displays look amazing. They're bright, they have a quick refresh rate, they're smooth. I just love them. So even the outside display of this phone is very, very nice. It features a 4-inch OLED display with 3000 nits, so it gets very, very bright in daylight, and also features a 165 Hz refresh rate, which I think is crazy for an outside display. And the inside display is even better. It's a 7-inch OLED display with also a 165 Hz refresh rate, but it's even brighter at a peak of 4500 nits. It also has HDR10, so colors look amazing, and quality-wise, of course, it's very, very nice. It's definitely a nice panel. And because it's a flip phone, of course, you have a little crease in the middle. You see it when you look at it, but you won't notice it in everyday life and if you get used to it. So there's no problem at all. There's a factory installed screen protector on it that you're not allowed to remove. I heard that they sometimes break 2 or 3 years in, but that makes it feel not like glass, but I don't think it is glass because, of course, it is foldable. Oh, and a quick insert here. This is a great moment to click that button down below the video and subscribe to my channel to make sure you don't miss any of the videos I put out. And I can promise you, there are a lot of nice videos to come. The processor is a Snapdragon 8 Elite with 16 GB of RAM, and it has 512 GB of internal storage. The Snapdragon 8 Elite is prone, that's what I heard, to getting quite hot, but I didn't have any problems or felt that the phone got too hot in everyday usage, so I don't think that's a problem at all. So speed-wise or performance-wise, I did not have any issues whatsoever in the past week of me using it, multitasking away, doing a lot of work on emails, social media, and so on. So that's good. What is very nice is the battery capacity. It has 4700 mAh, and that gets you a screen on time of about 8 hours, which is amazing. This phone will easily last you a whole day. And it also offers a 68-watt fast charging, so you can get a full charge in about 45 minutes, which of course is also very, very nice. So let's get to something more important. The cameras on the Razr 60 Ultra are 3x 50 megapixels. So you have a 50 megapixel main shooter, 50 megapixel ultra wide lens, and also a front camera, which also has 50 megapixels. The quality is actually very nice, especially in daylight. When it gets a little bit darker, I feel like the iPhone does a better job. Video-wise, it definitely does a better job, but it is okay. But you have to remember, this phone is about 1,200 euros here in Europe. I would expect a little bit more in that area when you pay that amount of money. And what I forgot to mention is a lot of dust and grime collects around the lenses on the display because the surrounding is kind of texturized, so you have to keep that in mind. What I really like about the flip form factor of this phone is that you can just set it up on a table and have a video call without needing any tripod or your phone leaning against something and falling over. We all know that problem. What I also love is that you can film in a camcorder mode. So you can just fold the phone like that in a 90-degree angle and just hold it like a camcorder and record videos like that. And I think that's quite funny and actually quite handy. But there is no telephoto lens, just an ultra-wide camera. For me personally, I prefer the telephoto lenses that you have on other smartphones, but it's okay. It has face unlock on the front side as well as when it's open up, so that's very nice. But if your face for some reason does not get recognized, you also have a backup fingerprint sensor on the side, which is very, very fast. And I think every phone should have a fingerprint sensor as a backup. I don't understand why Apple doesn't have it, but yeah, it's a nice feature. The speakers on this phone are okay. They sound nice, they get very loud, but if I compare it to my 16 Pro, it just blows it out of the water. The 16 Pro is much better, but they're okay for a $1,200 phone or Euro phone. I would expect a little bit more. So now that we're on the outside of the phone is very, very well built. It has amazing materials, such a good quality. The glass on the outside feels very nice. It's very, very nicely integrated into the housing with a curved glass on the sides. The hinge has titanium parts in it to make it more sturdy, and it really does feel sturdy. I never felt like it breaking or wiggling or anything in that area, so that's very nice. On the back you can choose from different materials. This variant has a wood veneer on the outside. You can also have things like Alcantara. So I really like that Motorola is playing around with the materials and bringing something different into the phone world, not just glass and aluminum. So that is very nice. For me personally, I don't like the color and the wood on this particular device, but it's just a review unit. I'd go for something a little more subtle. And then there's also a lot of pre-installed features like a Moto AI, where I have to be true to you. I just disabled it because I don't need it. Here in Germany, it's not very usable like in the US. And I prefer just using ChatGPT or Gemini, and I don't need like an app that summarizes all of those AIs in one app. I like the idea of it, but I just disabled it and used my own apps. But where I think this phone is amazing is its form factor when it's closed. And that also, I think, makes it what I think the perfect device if you want to reduce your screen time, where you want to reduce your social media or media addiction, when you just open your phone and can't remember why you actually open it and find yourself doom scrolling on apps like TikTok or Instagram. And I think this is where this phone plays its... What do you say? Plays it nicely, because when you just keep the phone closed, you have an amazing display and you can use all of your installed apps on the outside of this phone with it being closed. Of course, it's smaller, and you can choose if you want to have it in full screen or if you want to have it in a little bit of a smaller aspect, so you clear out the camera lenses on the bottom right. But that's the good thing, I think, that it is smaller, that it is a little bit compromised, because you just do the essentials. You just answer your texts and you just answer your emails, and you can, of course, open apps like Instagram and TikTok, but you don't. That's what I found myself doing. I just kept it closed and did the things that needed to be done, like adding to-dos, clearing off my to-do list, answering emails and so on. And I think that's amazing. Of course, to call, you have to open your phone because the ear speaker is on the inside, but a little nice side effect of doing that. If you have kind of a bad call, you can just hang up like this. And that's very satisfying. But I think especially when you add the Clicks case to it, this is where this phone exceeds and is a very, very interesting option in the modern smartphone world. Not just because of its interesting form factor, but because it just gets things done and it keeps your attention on the things where you need your attention. And that's what I really, really like. Of course, this is kind of a bold claim because you can always open it up and use the full screen variant of your social media apps. But I just, for me at least, I found myself doing that a little bit less than on my iPhone. And that's what I liked. So this has been my 2 weeks into the Motorola Razr video. I will be shooting a completely separate video with the Clicks case combined with the Razr, so the Razr Berry. So stay tuned for that. If you want to get a Clicks case for your device, make sure you check out the link in the description box below. It's an affiliate link, just so you know. Also, let me know what you think about the Razr. Let me know in the comments. If you like this video, please make sure to subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot. And also make sure to follow me on my social media channels, Instagram and X. You can see them right now. Okay, that's been it. See you in my next video. Until then, bye bye.